Now, can you hear that? That is the sound of success. No beeps, no bongs, doesn't sit here annoying the crap out of you the entire time you're driving. There's just nowhere to secretly store things. I just don't get why they don't package this stuff better so that you can conceal things that are in here. G'day, I'm Paul. Volkswagen has just rolled out the new Tiguan in Australia, and given this is such a big volume seller for them, I'm keen to have a drive of this and see how it feels in comparison to the previous generation of this car. This here is kind of the mid-spec 150 TSI Elegance. It's priced at just under $61,000. It's grown in size, but hopefully it still retains all the good stuff that we liked from the previous generation of Tiguan. So today we're going to do a detailed review of this car. So if you want to skip ahead to other parts of this review, you've got the time codes on the screen, or if you're on YouTube, you can scroll down and use the chapters below. Now, just on styling, look, it's just Volkswagen. There's really not much more to add to that. It looks stylish enough, looks elegant enough. It really sort of doesn't do anything too crazy. Big Volkswagen logo down the front here. You've got this bar that runs along the front there with a light that is separated by the logo, and then you have these chrome highlights as well. A little bit of aero down the side there. These headlights are pretty cool. So standard for the 150 TSI Elegance is HD matrix LED lights. This is the type of stuff they debuted on S-Class not that long ago, and to think that you're now getting that on a consumer grade car, I think is pretty impressive. Around the side here, we're sitting on 19-inch alloy wheels. It has a machined finish and then piano black on the inside there. And then you've got this wheel arch cladding on the side. This is all-wheel drive. You can get other variants of Tiguan in front-wheel drive, but 150 TSI paired with the all-wheel drive system here is kind of where you want to be if you need that surety of traction on the road, and then the punch from a 150 kilowatt engine as well. Indicator built into the wing mirror. This has a 360 camera, so you've got a camera located just under there. Privacy glass, you've got roof rails. This one's got a panoramic glass sunroof as well. And come around to the back with me. Now, around the back, we've got full LED tail lights, dynamic indicator here as well, with a bar that stretches all the way across, separated by that logo. 4Motion, which signifies this is an all-wheel drive system. Tiguan lettering down the bottom there, and shark fin aerial up the top. So let me know what you reckon about Tiguan and the pricing. The price has increased since the previous generation model, but they have added a lot of features and really played with the mix of where things sit. I'm very excited to see what the R version of this is like, because the previous I was blown away with how fast it was. So hopefully they can give this similar treatment as well. So let me know what you reckon in the comments section below. Okay, so we are inside the Tiguan. This is what the key looks like. You've got lock, boot, unlock, and then the Volkswagen logo on the back. It's a proximity sensing key, so you can leave that and you skyrocket. And then you've got a push button start just down here. By the way, that's also where you've got this cool little display. Let me just notice that. What else does that do? Oh, cool. That lets you switch between drive modes as well. There you go. Fun. So what do we think about this interior? Look, generally, Volkswagen interiors are pretty conservative. This has a lot of piano black, which I'm really not a fan of. That is a trend that just needs to die very quickly. But the rest of this, I'm pretty surprised by the giant screen you've got there. Another screen ahead of the driver. This car comes standard with the Sound of Vision package, so you've got a head-up display, the high-end sound system. It is just a nice place to be seated. And when you look at what the Chinese brands are doing at the moment with big screens and a lot of technology, it seems like Volkswagen is taking note of that and really just trying to compete wherever they can with this stuff. So from that point of view, it looks good. In terms of your touch points, sort of fairly firm in the center there. Nice and soft on the door. How soft are they? We've got our durometer. We've tested the main surfaces in this cabin. If you do want to see how this car compares to others that we've tested before, there is a link in the description below. Now, build quality. What is it like? We'll do our little shake test here. I don't know, all seems pretty good. Do you own a Volkswagen Tiguan? What has it been like over time? This is what our door slam sounds like. Good God. Let me make that end. Okay. There it is. Now let's talk about infotainment. Stepping up to this spec gets you the big infotainment system, 15 inches. It is like a, I actually found some random photos the other day of me and my friends at a computer land. Yes, I used to be very much into computers when I was younger. And I remember my first big gaming monitor was like a 19-inch. It was a CRT, but to think that today I've got a 15-inch ultra high resolution screen in a car that's able to process stuff. It's just insane. So anyway, 15-inch display. It's all touchscreen. You've got these sliders beneath, which I'm not a huge fan of. I just prefer buttons. And, you know, thankfully the steering wheel has moved back to these buttons instead of the capacitive touch things they used to have, because they were incredibly frustrating. But they're still stuck in the button age down here, but that's okay because the rest of this actually doesn't work too badly. So in addition to all these widgets that you've got here that you can configure, you've got smartphone mirroring in the form of Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Both of those are wireless. You can see here that is slightly, ever so slightly laggy. It's not too bad, but this actually, one thing I did notice on the way here to the proving ground this morning, it did have like a little drop out as we went under a toll gantry as well. So it's something that some cars do, some don't, but this did that. In addition to that, you've got Android Auto, which is also wireless. I'll show you what that looks like. So full screen there as well. And then, yeah, same story, all pretty straightforward. So in addition to AM, FM, DAB, digital radio, you've got a Harman Kardon sound system that's standard in this spec, 10 speakers, subwoofer, decent sound system, and makes you feel like you're at home. The only other option that is actually fitted to this car is just the roof. I think it's like a $2,000 option. The rest of this stuff that you're seeing is standard in this specification. So from the screen onto the driver display here, so slightly smaller 10.25-inch display, a pretty sort of generic Volkswagen Group display as well. So you can have different things appear, you can change the size of it. Pretty useful, loads of information there, so and very easy to use. So on the parking front, you've got front and rear parking sensors and a 360 camera. I'll show you what that looks like. So you've got like a front, super wide front. Then you can also select different views. You've got the back there, super wide back. Quality is a bit weird. It's like super overblown and pixelated and a bit weird, but yeah, I just don't know how they can't just fit decent cameras to these things. It's just bizarre. And this is what the horn sounds like. So moving on to practicality and your connectivity options. So it's interesting, you've got a tray up here to put things, but you also have a little slot beneath it where you can put your phone for charging, and you've also got two USB-C outlets beneath there too. Beneath that, you've got cup holders that come out. So you don't have to have cup holders if you don't want to, but there's just nowhere to secretly store things. You can see all of this from outside, and I just don't get why they don't package this stuff better so that you can conceal things that are in here. But yeah, so in here you're going to find your 12-volt outlet as well. Other storage, you've got just here next to the driver's knee, a little coin slot slash key slot, and then you've also got a reasonably sized glove box as well. And then no sunnies holder up the top there, but that's where you're going to be controlling your optional panoramic glass roof. In terms of comfort, you have heated and cooled seats for your front row, heated steering wheel, electric seat adjustment with memories. You can go forwards, backwards. Your backrest can go forwards and backwards. You can lift the front of the seat. Back of the seat, you have lumbar adjustment and massage as well. Passenger seat is electrically adjustable as well. And then steering offers both tilt and reach adjustment. And on our reach test, some of this stuff is a little bit tricky to reach while you're driving. Sort of up to there is okay, but you've got to lean in to catch those edges of the screen. Now, second row, what's it like back here? It's actually not as much leg room as I thought there'd be. So knee room's fine, toe room's excellent, headroom is pretty good as well. You know, there's adequate room here for an adult, but I don't know, I just feel like there would be more space. Driveline hump here because this is all-wheel drive, USB-C ports, a third zone of climate control. You've got little map pockets there with device holders up the top. Center armrest here with some cup holders as well that sort of pop out of there. Plus a little, you could use that for an iPad, I reckon. Just lean it on there for the kids to be entertained and not annoying you. And then on our window test, does the window go all the way down? So it is auto up and down. Oh, look at that. Okie dokie, let's have a look at the boot. Now, if I do fly away, I do apologise. It's very windy out here. So you've got around 650 litres worth of cargo space just in its standard form. Beneath the cargo floor, you've got a space saver spare tyre. So yeah, this is kind of the reason there isn't a huge amount of legroom in the second row, because they've opted for a bigger boot. This is quite a reasonable sizer, and I'll show you what it looks like with the bags in it. Just to give you an idea of how big that is. You've also got levers over here to release the second row. That'll increase the space to over 1,500 litres. So really decent amount of storage there. Okay, so we've just hit the road in the Tiguan. Now, can you hear that? That is the sound of success, because there are no beeps and no bongs. And I've spent a few days in this car now, and I can tell you, I thought for a second that, even just take note of that sign just for 1 second. I thought that maybe this didn't have all of the features that we're seeing in all of the modern cars today, and then I realised that no, it has to for the 5-star safety rating. And I went through the menus. It has the driver attention monitor, it has speed sign recognition, it has all the same things that the rest of the infuriating SUVs on the market have today, but the key difference is they've actually gone to the effort of calibrating that stuff, and it doesn't sit here annoying the crap out of you the entire time you're driving it, because you literally just switch all of that stuff off in every other car in this segment, because it's completely useless when it's annoying you. Whereas this, it actually works because it's working in the background, but it's not annoying me the entire time. So big hat off to Volkswagen for doing this properly and creating an SUV that you don't need to switch everything off every single time you drive it. So let's talk about the engine here. So being sort of mid-spec in terms of engine range at the moment, you're getting a 2-litre turbocharged 4-cylinder petrol, 150 kilowatts of power, a little over 300 newton meters of torque. It's a pretty derivative Volkswagen engine. They haven't really changed a great deal because they don't need to change a great deal. The engine really suits this size of vehicle. It is made into a 7-speed dual clutch, which I'm not a huge fan of, but they've kind of mastered dual clutches now, and it is, you know, as good as it's going to get. They've also done a really great job here with the stop-start system. So I'm going to roll to a stop so you can see exactly what I mean. It'll basically switch the car off while it's still moving a little bit, and then when you roll out of the brake, it imperceptibly starts. So it's just a really nice, smooth transition and something you don't really notice, which is exactly what a stop-start system needs to be. Now, how does it all feel behind the wheel? So I'll sink the slipper into that. So being a mid-tier engine, it's good but not amazing in terms of shoving you in the back. It's not the type of performance you see on the market today with some of the plug-in hybrids, but it is perfectly adequate for what this car is and what it needs to be. So I think they've really nailed it there in terms of that combination. The rest of the package is great as well. Steering feel is really good. Brake pedal, it takes a bit of getting used to. It's got a bit of a wooden feel to it, but you know, once you've been driving it for a while, it's really not that bad. So all in all, they've actually done an excellent job here in terms of this entire package. Now, I mentioned that thing there before about the dynamic speed sign recognition. Most other cars that we test will immediately not recognise the road signs here, even though they're the same road signs you'll find anywhere else in Australia. And then it will just tell you you're speeding because it defaults to like 40 kilometres an hour or something. This, on the other hand, will say, hey, I can't read that speed sign because we don't have 120 kilometres an hour anywhere in Australia, I don't think. So it'll just go, I'm just not going to show you anything, and as a result of that, I'm not going to beep when you're going over the speed limit. So again, that is just a clever way to manage those driver safety aids that a lot of these cars have to have. Now let's talk fuel economy. Combined average, according to Volkswagen, is just under 8 litres per 100 Ks. We've actually done better than that. So we were averaging under 7 for highway driving and a combined average on the longer cycle of under 9 litres per 100 Ks. So depending on the type of driving that you're doing, you're going to sort of either land below or above that number, but still pretty decent for a vehicle this size. Now let's talk about the ride, and we're going to increase the speed here to 130 Ks an hour on our sine waves to see what body control's like. It's the maximum speed limit in Australia and the speed we test all cars here. It is perfect. I don't know, again, it sounds like I'm being a bit sort of gushy here, but they've just put the effort into tuning this ride. So this comes with adaptive damping, and in a situation like that, when you're in comfort mode, it is soaking up that type of stuff perfectly, and in and around town it feels nice and comfortable across cobblestones, potholes, speed humps, all that kind of stuff. So it just shows you that putting a bit of effort into this stuff really pays dividends. Now, bumpy road time, we do this at 90 Ks an hour. Let's see whether that adaptive damping makes enough of a difference here. Yeah, look at that. Nice and smooth. It is soaking up all of this beautifully. We've got a condensed sine wave coming up here as well. Let's see what this is like. All right. Yeah, nice. It's just really gliding along this perfectly. Very good, Volkswagen. Okay, time to do a bit of a faster lap. We're going to put this into sport mode. There's a litany of drive modes here to pick from, but we'll use sport mode for the moment. Just want to see what it feels like when the speed picks up. We test all cars back to back in the same way to see what they're like at limit handling conditions. So let's see how this goes. Brake pedal feels good once you step on it. Yeah, look, a little bit of body roll there, but fairly confidently sends torque to the rear as required, and because there isn't a huge amount of power there, you can kind of just lean into it and it moves along nicely. Just having to avoid the grass because it is very wet and mushy at the moment. So yeah, look, it's actually pretty decent. Not a huge amount of body roll, and that adaptive damping really helps keep the body nice and flat as it's powering through some of these corners. So you really are getting the best of both worlds here. You're getting a really comfortable ride when you need it, and then if you do want this sportier sort of driving, it's catered towards that as well. And this isn't even really the performance model, so you can imagine if they roll out a full fat R edition again, which I was bloody amazed with last time they had one. This thing is going to be an absolute rocket ship. So yeah, not too bad on the performance front. I'll pin it on the back straight here. Yeah, nice, picks up speed very nicely. Now let's talk about road noise. It's quite nice, not all that loud in here, so even on coarse chip roads it's really inoffensive. We did put it up against our calibrated sound meter, and this is how it went. If you want to see how this car compares to other cars that we've tested before, there's a link in the description. Don't mind us. Peak hour kangaroo time. In terms of visibility, I can see clearly down the front there, really nice and big wing mirrors. Visibility out the back is excellent as well. Righto, time to test the semi-autonomous systems. So going to pop that on in travel assist mode at 70 k's an hour, up to 70, which is the speed we do this at. You can see the steering wheel's gone green up there. Watch out, kangaroo, wallaby, whatever it is. They all look alike. Okay, so we're going to use the 3 outer lanes here to see how well it performs. So first lane here is the easiest. It is hugging to the left there quite a bit, but still within its lane. So we'll try next lane over, see how it performs up here. Okay, there it is there. Yeah, same story again. It's just desperately wanting to stay to the very left there and leaving all of that room. Okay, we'll see what it's like on the outermost lane. Okay, wait for that to activate. No, doesn't look like it wants to entertain the outermost lane up here. No. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so it's just not willing to provide enough steering torque to keep it in there. So, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a pass. I just think it needs to be a bit more confident with keeping the car in the centre of the lane. Now it's time for us to do a little bit of performance testing. I just want to check the claim. 0 to 100 is like 7 point something seconds. This also has launch control, which is kind of fun. It is slightly damp out there, but I don't think this has enough power for that to be an issue. So pop it into sport mode, and then you go over to the car menu, ESC into sport mode, and then using the brake and the throttle, you can activate launch control, and then we'll send it all the way through to 120, so we can get our 80 to 120 time as well. So here we go, launch control active. Little bit of wheel slip off the line. Gee, they're aggressive gear shifts, very good. There's 100 and 120. Alrighty, so let's have a look at how we went. Okay, so that is 0 to 100, 7.23 seconds, which is pretty much the claim. 80 to 120, 4.92, which is pretty reasonable as well. 4.92 for 80 to 120 shows you that in terms of overtaking, it's not going to be a laborious and difficult task. So very good. All right, let's go back. We'll do a stop from 100. Okay, let's see what the brake and tyre package is like with a stop from 100. It's a little bit damp out there, but we'll see how we go regardless. Oh. The seatbelt has strangled me. It's got a special system here with a motor inbuilt that pulls you back in if it senses a hard stop like that. Okie dokie, so 100 to 0. What? Look at that! 2.53 seconds, 33.94 meters. That is insane. I think that is actually a record for us. Having any vehicle stop in under 35 meters is impressive. This, I think, is a record. So we're going to overlay numbers on the screen. I can't remember our exact numbers, but I think that is a record. Unbelievable. Alrighty, very nice. Let's see how quickly it goes in reverse. Here we go. All right, 31 kilometers an hour. Okay, so, sorry, weather is feral. Normally I'd get out of the car, but what do we think of the Tiguan? I'll tell you what, in a sea of Chinese cars that, you know, impress us but don't amaze us because there's always something that's annoying. Typically it's the safety systems or the way that they ride and handle. This is the best Tiguan that has ever existed, and this is probably one of the best medium SUVs in this segment. Like, this spec nails it in terms of ride, handling, technology. Like, it really just ticks every single one of those boxes where you'd be crazy to look at anything else. So I really do recommend you take this for a test drive. This spec, I think, is right where it needs to be. If you do want something sportier, there is a higher output version available as well, but I think this is a great middle ground there between all of those elements. In terms of the negatives, I don't know, I really can't find much. I mean, there's storage down here I mentioned earlier that it can't be concealed, but outside of that, it really is a great place to be seated, and as a family car, it just does everything well. So yeah, there you go. So let me know what you reckon in the comments section below. Are you as surprised as I am that this is as good as it is? I'm keen for your feedback. If you did enjoy the video, please make sure you like it and you share it with your mates. But until next time, take it easy.